In a world where it feels like everyone is constantly broadcasting their lives, there is a quiet, often misunderstood group of people who simply don't post photos of themselves. You know them. Their profile picture might be a sunset, a pet, or a default gray silhouette. They're active enough to like your posts or send you memes, but their own feed is a digital ghost town. In an era where pics or it didn't happen has become a social mantra, the decision to remain invisible is a fascinating psychological choice. It isn't always about being shy or having something to hide. More often, it's a complex mix of personality traits, boundary setting, and a different way of processing the world around them. Let's start by looking at the concept of validation. For many, social media functions as an external feedback loop. You post the photo, the likes roll in, and your brain gets a hit of dopamine. This is what psychologists call external validation. But for the person who doesn't post, their source of worth often comes from an internal locus of control. They don't need 100 people to tell them they looked good at dinner, to actually believe they looked good. For them, the memory of the evening is enough. The experience itself is the reward, and the act of stopping to capture it, filter it, and caption it feels like it actually cheapens the moment. To this group, a photo isn't a trophy, it's a distraction. Then, there is the element of selective self-presentation. We all curate our lives to some extent. But for some, the gap between their real self and their digital self feels too wide to bridge. There's a specific kind of perfectionism at play here. So many people don't post because they find the digital museum of social media to be exhausting. If they can't present a version of themselves that feels authentic or perfect, they'd rather not present one at all. They might be highly sensitive to how they are perceived, and the thought of their face being scrutinized or judged by acquaintances from high school or distant coworkers creates a sense of identity anxiety. By not posting, they maintain total control over their image. They aren't the person who looks like that. They are whoever they are in the physical room they are currently standing in. We also have to consider communication privacy management theory. This is the idea that we all have privacy boundaries that we navigate daily. For most, the face is public property, but for the non-poster, their image is a deeply private asset. They see their likeness as something reserved for those who actually spend time with them in person. There is a certain power in that mystery. In a time where everything is accessible and everyone is searchable, being unsearchable or having no recent visual record of your life becomes a form of social currency. It's a way of saying, if you want to know what I look like or what I'm up to, you have to actually talk to me. It's an intentional pushback against the commodification of the self. There is also a segment of this population that experiences what psychologists call digital fatigue or the Spectator Effect. These individuals are perfectly happy being observers. They enjoy the social part of social media, the connection, the information, the humor without feeling the need to be the media part of it. They view social media like a television show or a magazine. You can enjoy the content without needing to be one of the actors on the screen. For them, the digital world is a tool for consumption, not a platform for performance. They don't feel like they're missing out by not sharing. They feel like they're gaining peace by staying out of the spotlight. Interestingly, we also see a rise in this behavior among people who have high-stakes careers or those who have experienced digital trauma. Whether it is an old photo being taken out of context or the realization that a digital footprint is permanent, many people have learned that the safest way to navigate the internet is to remain a ghost. This isn't paranoia, it's a calculated risk assessment. They understand that once a photo is out there, it no longer belongs to them. It can be screenshotted, edited, or used in ways they never intended. For these people, the psychological comfort of knowing there is no evidence of their private life online far outweighs the fleeting joy of a few comments. But perhaps the most relatable reason is simply the avoidance of the comparison trap. It's a well-documented fact that social media leads to upward social comparison, where we compare our messy reality to everyone else's highlight reel. People who don't post photos often report feeling more grounded. By removing themselves from the arena of visual competition, they find it easier to stay content with their own lives. They are unchecking their notifications every 5 minutes to see if the right person liked their photos. They've opted out of the game entirely, and in doing so, they've reclaimed a significant amount of mental real estate. Now, It's easy to label these people as antisocial or Luddites, but that's rarely the case. In fact, many people who avoid posting photos are deeply social in real life. They are the ones who are fully present at the party, the ones who don't have their phones out during the concert, and the ones who remember the details of a conversation because they weren't distracted by the lighting. There is a quiet confidence in that. It's the confidence of knowing that your existence is valid, even if it isn't documented. As we move forward, the right to be forgotten and the right to be invisible are becoming bigger parts of our psychological conversation. We are starting to realize that the pressure to be a brand is taking a toll on our collective mental health. The people who do UNT post photos might actually be the pioneers of a new kind of digital wellness. They've mastered the art of JOMO, the joy of missing out. They've realized that the most important parts of life do happen in front of a camera, and the most important version of yourself is unto the one that fits into a square on a screen. So, the next time you see a profile with no photos, don't assume they boring or hiding something. They might just be the most present person you know. They are living their lives for an audience of one, or perhaps an audience of a few chosen friends, rather than a sea of strangers. They remind us that our faces are more than just content, and our lives are more than just a feed. In a world that can't stop talking, there is a profound, grounded strength in the people who choose to remain silent and unseen. They aren't missing. They're just right where they are.